Alright guys, we're on to Tile Defense Bear Hugger. This fight can be annoying for speedrunning because you do have to be a bit precise when you counter his punches. But thank goodness the fight is not that complicated as far as strategy goes. I mean, this fight's not super hard, but it does take a bit of practice to counter his punches because you do have to be a bit precise. Okay, the way we're going to start the fight out is, this is kind of what you want to practice with Bear first. You want to practice these counter punches, countering his punches, since they do require some precise timing. Just like for contender Don Flamenco's infinite combo, you can practice these all day. This is kind of what you want to practice right here. You want to practice these counter punches. If you miss a couple when you're practicing, that's okay. Just keep working at it and you'll get it more consistently. You want to practice the timing for countering his punches, because you need to be good at countering his punches for the fight. This is what you want to practice right here. Practice this as much as you want when you're first starting out, and then once you get really good at it, once you can do it most of the time, then you can start learning the speedrun strats. You can practice this throughout the entirety of round 1 if you want. But I got hit a couple times because if you try counter punching your timing's off, you will get hit. But once you have gotten good at countering his punches, then it's time to move on to the speedrun stuff. Now I'm going to explain what to do when you're for the beginner speedrun strat. So what we got to do is we got to counter his first 3 punches and then dodge his next one and punch him, use a star, and we repeat that 3 times. So the first punch is a downward right punch of his. You want to throw a left face jab when he blinks red. The next punch is his hook, which is his left hook. And you want to throw a right face jab when he blinks red. Very, very simple. And the third punch is his bear hug. The visual cue to countering the bear hug is when he changes from looking up to looking down. That's your visual cue to throw a right face jab. Very, very simple. Now he's going to do a delayed right downward punch. We need to dodge it by dodging to the left like this, and then we'll do a right face jab to stun him, and then a 3-star punch to knock him down. Very, very simple. Once you're good at countering his punches, this fight really is not too difficult. Okay, he's going to start phase 2 with a catch and release attack. Probably the hardest attack to counter on Bear. I mean, it's not really all that difficult, but it just takes practice. The visual cue to countering the catch and release attack is when he opens his mouth wide, that's your cue to throw a right face jab. Very, very simple. Now he's going to do a left hook. When he blinks red, throw a right face jab. Now he's going to do a fake bear hug. So when he does a fake bear hug, when he leans forward, that's your cue to throw a right face jab. Just like that. We have 3 stars. Now what we need to do is dodge his Next attack, which happens to be a left hook. Stun him with the right jab. And then buffer the 3-star punch. And down he goes. And phase 3 is just a repeat of what we just did. Except his pattern's just different is all it is. He's going to do 1 bear hug and 2 catch and release attacks. We have to counter all 3 of those. Remember for the bear hug, when he changes from looking up to looking down, that's your cue to throw a right face jab. And for the 2 catch and release attacks, when he opens his mouth wide, that's your cue to throw a right face jab. But I messed up. Of course. But we can go over phases 1 and 2 one more time. Because I can't talk into everything. So we counter the first 3 punches like this. I've already explained how to do it. Once you get 3 stars, dodge his next attack, stun him, and 3-star punch him. Very, very simple. And then when he gets back up, remember, counter these 3 attacks. Once you get 3 stars, dodge his attack by dodging left, right face jab to stun him, and then 3-star punch to knock him down. Phase 3, first one's going to be a bear hug. The next 2 are going to be catch and release attacks. We know the visual cue to countering those. I've already explained. So just get 3 stars by countering those 3 attacks. I don't know why I keep messing up. Oh. Oh. You have to be really precise when you counter his punches, like when you counter the catch and release attack. That's the difficult part, is you do have to be precise when you counter the catch and release. And the catch and release is the hardest one to counter of the fight. But if you use the visual cue to counter it, like punching him when he opens his mouth wide, it's not that hard to counter. But it's still a little tricky. Okay. Oh, I'm messing up. This is a really execution heavy fight, like I said. I don't know why I keep messing up. Dang it. Okay. We can get this. Alright, that's a good phase 1. You should knock him down with either 228 or 229 left on the in-game timer. 220, or maybe 230 if he was frame perfect, but... So we counter these 3 punches, which is the 2 punches, including the fake bear hug. Dodge his hook, stun him, and 3-star punch him. Excuse me. Alright, let's see if we can do phase 3. We got our 3 stars. So one important thing to know is after you get the 3 stars in phase 3, he's always going to do a hook, but it could be a random delay for a hook. He could either do the regular hook like he always does in phases 1 and 2, or he can do a delayed hook by doing a hook with a squirrel on his head. But the good news about the delayed hook is if you accidentally dodge too early, anticipating the quick hook, you still have enough time to dodge to avoid the delayed hook, which is good. No matter which hook you did, which the delayed hook really won't come around too often. But I just thought I'd point that out just in case if I never get to show it. But no matter if you dodge the quick hook or the delayed hook, you do a right face jab to stun him, and then after this, buffer 3-star punch. Very, very simple. The fight's pretty basic itself. Like, he does the same thing every time. The only RNG moment is just phase 3 when he can do either the quick hook or the delayed hook. And the only difficult part is just countering his punches. But once you get good at countering his punches, the fight's really not too difficult. And then this fight's about medium difficulty, I'd have to say, because it can be a little tricky to counter his punches. But once you're good at that, you should be able to do that very consistently. Let's go with fight one more time. So remember, we get our 3 stars here. Dodge, punch, and use it. We just repeat that same thing 3 times. It's a pretty straightforward fight. As far as strategy goes. Even though it is kind of an execution heavy fight, but the fight's pretty basic itself still. It's still not super hard. So once you get your 3 stars, dodge, punch, and use it. It's just, phase 3 is just a repeat of what we did in phases 1 and 2. Simple as that. That's all you have to do. Ow! It's a tricky fight because you can't. It's easy for even a world-class player to mess up countering his punches. Because you don't have like a huge window to counter his punches, but you still have a somewhat reasonable window to counter, so it's still not super hard to do. Also, you still have at least a 6-frame window to do it. You do have to time it correctly, but you don't have to be done with like the first 4 frames or anything like that. It's still not real hard. And I keep messing up when I'm trying to recap the strategy. Ugh. You have to be really precise when you counter his punches. When you're learning this fight, there's a very good chance you'll miss some counters. So, like I said, just practice the counters until you can get them consistently. Get those counters down, and you should be able to do this fight pretty consistently. Excuse me. We got 3 stars. Dodge, punch, and use it. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I didn't even mean to punch too early. I was looking for the visual cue and countering it. I don't know why I'm having trouble with this strat. And I'm pretty good at this strat. I know, it's hard. I know. They're tough counters to hit, guys, like I told you. Okay, one more phase to go. We just have to repeat the same thing that we just did.
1, 2, 3.
It's a pretty basic fight. It just takes a lot of practice, because I promise you're going to have to practice this fight a lot. Oh yeah. He didn't do the delayed hook, but that's okay. I already mentioned what to do if he does do the delayed hook. Because it's basically the same strategy, except you have to dodge later. It's the only different part. And that's fair. Just practice, practice, practice is all I have to say. Just practice until you can get those counters down consistently, and until you can consistently get good times. 134.35. That is an excellent tile defense bear hugger time. And next time we'll move on to tile defense Great Tiger, which is a much easier fight for speedrunning. And tile defense Don Flamenco will be another easy fight. The tile defense major circuit, these fights are not really all that difficult. They are pretty easy for speedrunning. They are pretty basic. But when we get down to this circuit down here, there'll be a lot going on, trust me. Except for Tile Defense Aaron Ryan, he's not really too bad. Tile Defense Macho's not too bad. Tile Defense Sandman's not too bad. But Tile Defense Sopopinski's a pretty difficult opponent. So is Tile Defense Ball Bull. TD Bull especially. So is Soda, but Soda not really too bad if you know what you're doing. It's just you have to know what to do, and there's not much room for error. So, that's it. That's it with the TD Bear strats. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button and click on the bell to be notified every time I make new videos. If you have any questions about any of these strats, please feel free to leave your questions in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer them to the best of my ability. And have a wonderful day. Peace, Republic of Speed Boy.